New Ghost is the purest expression of Rolls-Royce, and we feel it's a worthy successor to previous generation Ghost, which was the most successful car in the history of our company. As with every Rolls-Royce, you can describe the design of New Ghost with 3 lines. So we have the WAF line, which is now far more dynamic and contemporary and runs the full length of the car and then just ticks up at the back. And then we have here the shoulder line, which has always been very strong on Ghost, starting right at the front and running the full length of the car. Finally, we've got the roof line, or the profile, which is less saloon-like at the rear of the car now. It's more like a coupe. It flows down to the rear of the car. And there's some lovely touches of craftsmanship as well that you can see. So the roof panel is welded flush to the side frame, so there's no gap between the 2 panels to distract the eye, and this allows us to put wonderful feature lines in at the rear of the car. Moving round to the front of the car, first thing you'll notice is the Spirit of Ecstasy rises up out of the bonnet. So we no longer have a grille surround, but instead the bonnet comes all the way forward and actually dips over the front of the car. The laser lights have a 600-metre throw at full beam, because everything about a Rolls-Royce should be effortless. You should feel calm, and being able to drive at night with really good headlights obviously supports that. Under the bonnet, we have now the 6.75 litre twin turbocharged V12 engine. This is an iconic literage for us. You trace it back into our history, and it replaces the 6.6 litre that was in the previous model. Moving on to the grille, you'll see that the grille is a single piece of polished stainless steel. So again, no split lines to distract the eye. The grille also can be illuminated if you want. So we've set a line of lights that just bathe the grille veins in this lovely soft white light. And what we had to do was consider what's behind the grille now, because obviously it's illuminated, but equally the grille veins themselves, if you notice, they're polished at the front and then they've been given a satin finish at the back. And that's to stop the sort of hall of mirror effect that you'd otherwise get when the grille's illuminated. One of the features we're really proud of on New Ghost is the planar system. And this is actually 3 technologies all working together. So we have the satellite aided transmission, which is using the navigation and the GPS to prepare the transmission for the road ahead. And then we've got the flag bearer system, which are these twin cameras in the front windscreen, which are scanning the road ahead and preparing the suspension accordingly. And then finally, we've got this mass damper, which sits on top of the suspension on the front axle. It's almost like a suspension for the suspension. And these 3 systems work in harmony to deliver the planar system and this fantastic magic carpet ride. On top of that, we've also now got 4-wheel drive, replacing the 2-wheel drive of the previous generation, and this active rear axle, so effectively 4-wheel steer as well. And it's all knitted together with the aluminium architecture, which replaces the steel monocoque that was in the previous generation. So around at the rear of the car, we're looking to conclude the 3 lines that we were talking about when we were looking at the side profile. So the roof line comes down and just finishes with this little boot spoiler, a nod towards the more dynamic and agile nature of New Ghost. Then we have the shoulder line finishing with this very strong rear light cluster and this strong chrome line sort of pointing its way down the car. And then finally the WAF line just peters out and then is replaced with a strong feature line here on the rear bumper. And then also we have the option of the visible exhaust pipes as well, if you really want to accentuate the 6.75 litre V12 that you've got under the bonnet. Opening our signature coach doors, you will see the modern design of the exterior is also carried over and reflected in the interior. The veneer that you can see in this car is what we call Obsidian IOS, and it's a technology-enabled veneer. So we actually go through a number of processes where we take the wood and we stain it, and then we cut it at a very specific angle. And what you see there is these lovely patterns in the veneer, something that sort of almost resembles lava flows. And then we give it a satin finish, and we feel it's a really contemporary veneer, and it moves the story of wood veneers forward, which is something that we're very keen to do here at Rolls-Royce. If we now move around and we look at the instrument panel, it's split into 2 halves. The upper instrument panel is almost like a tablet, this one piece of black that runs across the full width of the car. And we have the digital dials directly in front of the driver. Then we have the touch screen as a central display. And then we have the illuminated fascia in front of the passenger. And this is a Ghost word mark surrounded by this sort of little galaxy of stars. And it's just a wonderful feature, particularly at night. Transitioning now to the back, you'll see that in this particular case we have the individual seats with the occasional third seat. You can also have, for the first time on new Ghost, 2 seats with the fixed centre console, and of course the standard bench seat as well. This car has the lovely Starlight headliner, again a very popular and well-known feature for Rolls-Royce. Ghost has another new feature called Effortless Doors. So you've always been able to close the door from the inside, and customers have often asked us, is there a means of opening the door as well? And now with new Ghost there is. So using the handle, you pull it and it opens to the first position, and then you pull it again and then it will open to whichever desired position you want, and then you can step easily and effortlessly out of the car. New Ghost is pure, agile and self-assured, and really is the purest expression of Rolls-Royce.